You don't know video games, and neither do we. That's okay, we like talking about them anyway. I'm Ben Rosenthal, one of the hosts here at You Don't Know Video Games, and this is the one and only time you're getting a professional intro from me. I'm joined by one of my co-hosts, to my right, Floppy Starrick.
Hello. I know some video games.
You don't know video games.
No, I don't know video games.
You don't know video games.
I don't know video
Do you know
games.
who's someone who doesn't know video games? Anto doesn't know video games.
See, I'm really offended by that because I feel like I do know video games and this name was not run by me.
But really, do you know them like professionally or just
personally?
in passing?
I mean, I know at least one video game rather intimately and I have like 12 copies of it, so...
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean anything besides the fact you can't let go.
The Cubist trip.
And also joining us as they frantically run around making sure the new stream and the new look is... Look at this. Look how pretty it is.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Brayden Dixon, you have outdone yourself.
Hello, everyone. How we doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good?
I'm feeling good now that we're here.
Here.
It's seemingly working.
Now, for the podcast listeners, they wouldn't have been able to tell, but during the holding screen, our mics were on.
Oh,
I can't even remember what we talked about.
the chat. Oh, I think Anto's butt was numb.
I'm pretty sure I said something about my butt being numb.
Someone farted.
Yeah.
It was a good
Oh,
time.
I farted.
Yeah.
But this is You Don't Know Video Games, brought to you by Hack the Dino. We are here to talk about the past, present, and future of video games and just have a jolly old good time. Be sure to head on over to our YouTube channel where you can subscribe and like and comment and do all those things that help all the algorithm find us. We're starting again, starting fresh, so all new feeds. If you listen to the podcast, please make sure you find us on Spotify or all other podcast apps. You Don't Know Video Games. Also hit us up on Instagram, on Threads, on TikTok, on all the young people things. Is that all of them, young person, Brayden?
More or less. I think, the main ones we're kind of at least going to put effort into and stick to is, of course, YouTube and Spotify for your podcast services. And you're watching us and live. We will be on YouTube live, so you can check it out over there. Once that gets set up correctly.
And once that is set up, don't worry, you'll be able to watch it live, but then after that show, it'll be put on hidden and the episodes will come out as per normal. So you just have to make sure you head on over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, You Don't Know Video Games. And of course, head on over to hackthedino.com where all of this stuff will be listed when I remember to do it. And you can just click on a button there and it'll take you there as well as join our Discord. Come on in, say hello, say hi, say other words, but no profanities because that's reserved for me and me only.
Bullshit.
Okay, and Floppy.
Okay, thank you.
You can jump in on it as well.
Fuck yeah.
The Twitch channel is not going away. The Twitch channel will be reserved for
Gameplay,
which these two fine gentlemen are going to tackle.
I'm going to attempt to.
I mean, I will, and based on a comment in a previous episode from, I believe it was Dylan Mavillain, if you all put suggestions for games that you want me to play in the chat, in the Discord, I'll play them. Instead of choosing stuff that no one wants to watch.
I enjoyed your Pokemon Nuzlocke.
I did too.
That was a good time.
But Dylan didn't, so...
Oh, well. Sorry, Dylan. Apologies.
I will be doing my level 1 Dark Souls 3 run soon, however.
Oh.
So that'll be fun.
Well, it'll be fun for someone.
Yeah, me.
And Brayden's going to, or Anto's going to help me get, because I am not tech savvy, help me get some stuff sorted out at home so I can stream a little bit more and then play games that suck, because that's what I play.
And I might pop up once in a while and play Fortnite, because that's what I play.
Joke's on you, Dylan. I like Balan.
But before we get started, look at this. Like, honestly, Brayden has really done super well to get this all up and going.
It's gonna get better.
And what people other than the hosts aren't privy to is that in our private host Discord, messages have been flying left, right, and center from Brayden and Ben just about like what's changing, what needs to be done, how much work is being done. For most of the last week, I can only feel that Brayden is a bit overwhelmed by like not only notifications from Discord, but also just general life. So well done. Round of applause for Brayden.
Well done, Brayden.
The amount of work being put in.
I'm happy with where it's at, but I cannot stress this enough. It will get better. And isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Yeah, so make sure you subscribe so you can see it get better.
Gonna have to start calling you Baden.
Tell your friends to subscribe.
Yes.
We're putting in an effort this time.
It only took us 8 years.
Get in it on the ground floor. We're going to be doing shorts and shit. Get around it.
Ooh. I filmed a short a little while ago. Did it ever go up?
No, because you filmed it in the wrong rotation.
Can't you just put it up anyway?
It'd just be the middle of the screen and like half of your face.
So it would look like I just filmed it anyway. That's like, it would look like my quality work.
But don't worry, for those of you who were fans of Hock the Dino.
No,
We did that last week. I got in trouble.
Really?
I got
By who?
both Brayden and Zach told me off.
For doing the hot tour thing.
Yeah. And I called back to it as well, and it was really funny. I will say that we will be having a plethora of guests come in. Zach will be joining us when they can as well. I'd like to have Angie back on. Jazz is floating around somewhere. I'm sure she'll jump in one time. If you
We should get Patrick and my buddy MC. You guys would love him.
Okay. But we are here for you. So if you followed us from our Hack the Dino days, thank you very much. It really meant a lot. This rebrand is purely so we can make a red hot go of get Kojima on. Well, I'll try.
Yeah.
So we can make a red hot go at getting this podcast and getting a unique brand of entertainment out to more people. So we would really appreciate it. If unique brand, that's
It's a good way of putting it.
trademarked.
Yes.
Ranting bullshit
Yeah.
out to more people. So if you could share the links, if you could encourage people to listen either via podcast or on YouTube or wherever they devour their media, we would really appreciate, because we really appreciate you. And let's not forget, Patreon's still going. 3 tiers, $2, $10, and $30, I think. Lots of little special surprises coming in for Patreons as well.
Ooh.
Such as something we'll find out a little bit later on the show.
Ooh, exciting.
But
What?
for now, we have a little segment, Floppy.
Yes, we
called
do.
The Game Club.
Game Club.
What is it?
Game Club is where we decided that we would like to share the games that we love that maybe the other folk in the team haven't played. Maybe they were nostalgic for us. Maybe it was just the only game we had when we were a kid. And we've been doing this for a while now. So we've played through some bangers. We've played through... What have we played through? Blaster Master, Space Quest,
Shinobi 3.
Shinobi. We've done
did like
Vampire
Shinobi.
Survivors. We've done Wolfenstein 3D. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. And there is still a whole bunch more to go. This past lot, we played... Rystar. I just realised I didn't plug that bloody laptop in. I'll be right back.
Anto, Rystar was your pick?
Yeah, it was. Rystar's a really interesting one, at least in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but that's why we're talking about it.
Correct.
So I believe it was made by some of the guys from Sonic Team, which is why it's got such a familiar visual sort of aesthetic.
I actually had some research about that.
Yeah?
I did a little bit of reading up on it.
Yeah.
So this this and Sonic was originally the same game. Mm-hmm. And it's split. Because
Similar
they went...
to Chrono Trigger and Final Secret of Mana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Final Fantasy. I was going to go, well, actually. No, but yeah, this was originally Sonic. Mm-hmm. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so super familiar aesthetic if you've played or are familiar with the Mega Drive Sonic games. Sound, probably not quite as memorable.
Sorry, I've just read Michael Towns' comment. Michael Towns in the live chat. The sequel's more fun. It's called Risty.
That's when it hit puberty and grew up a bit. Yeah, it's just a really fun, interesting platformer. Mechanically, it's a lot slower than like Sonic or even Mario.
Oh, yeah.
The movement speed of the main character is a bit weird, but the mechanic or like the hook of the game is that his arms stretch.
I didn't
and
know
you
that.
can use that to
Template.
grab enemies, grab the environment, and fling yourself around in different directions. So it's quite. What did I compare it to last night when we were playing it, Floppy?
You compared it to Sonic.
I compared it to Sonic, but I also compared it to something else because, like, unlike Mario or Sonic, where you're moving left to right or on the odd occasion right to left,
Just to mix it
it's
up.
the sort of game that encourages you to explore
Verticality.
everywhere. Yeah, so it's not just a game where the goal is left to right. Could be all the way down at the bottom of the map, could be all the way at the top. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I had a really good time with it as a kid. I haven't played it since I was a child until Game Club happened.
All right, so what do you think now that you're looking back at it with a more mature gaming eyes?
Looking back at it now, or like thinking about it now as an adult, I still think it's quite appealing. It's fun to play, but it absolutely doesn't have the charm or polish that Sonic or Mario or some of the more sort of familiar and more popular 2D platformers have. It's a fun time. It's quite challenging compared to the other stuff. But yeah, I think if I had to like rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it maybe a 6 or a 7. So not bad by any means, but comparing it to stuff like Shinobi 3 or Sonic 3, for me, which are 10 out of 10 titles, it doesn't quite hit as hard as I thought it did.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I'll go next because I actually played this with Anto. Mm-hmm. We sat at Anto's place. We played it on the PS2, didn't we?
PS3.
We played on the PS3
Mega Drive
Sega
Collection.
Mega Collection on his CRT.
We hooked it up with AV cables and everything.
And we played it like you would have played it way back then. We were just having a chat. We had coffee or tea, and we were just playing back and forth and handing the controller back and forth, and it was cool. I think I like this more than the Sonic games because I find Sonic too fast.
Okay.
That's why. So I found this really interesting. I really did like the mechanic of his arms extending and then using the arms to then grab, vines and things and propel yourself up to the next one to grab onto things that are floating to be able to get vertical and swing, like as he's doing right there, and swing. I found it really interesting. It was a little tricky to get used to. I will say I enjoyed it more playing it with someone than I did playing it on my own today. So I played it again this morning, and I did enjoy it more going like, oh, damn, like I sucked at that and I died, passed the control over, watching you do it, beat that area and being like, oh, I didn't even think of that. That's really cool. So for me, I don't have any nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
I like it more than Sonic because I found it a little easier to control, and I like the interesting mechanics. But yeah, to play next to someone who is playing it as well at the same time and going back and forth, that was really cool.
I gave it a crack as well. I didn't play it on an original console, which I kind of regret, just because I didn't have the game. I have the console, but not the game. So I had to play it on emulation. I think the main thing that stands out with me is the music was great. The visuals, as we can see now, were just fantastic. The arm gimmick wasn't really for me. I found that it wasn't as fast as Sonic, but how do I put this? It wasn't the right speed.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're going to play a platformer, it needs to have a certain cadence to the gameplay.
Yeah.
And like for me, Sonic is what I grew up with and I'm very familiar with. Like the muscle memory I have for Sonic games is such that I can blast through Green Hill Zone Act 2 in like 18 seconds. This feels even slower than even the early Mario games did. And I think that might be what turns a lot of people off because of the lack of familiarity.
But I'd say this is even slower than the earlier Mario games.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's slower than that.
Yeah.
So it feels very off.
I really like the backgrounds.
I think the art here is stellar and mixed with the soundtrack. Yeah, really, really fun. I honestly didn't think much of the character himself. It's a star with a black head. I don't know. It didn't grab me. Pun intended.
Meant to be like a shooting star.
Yeah. But he doesn't have a gun, so I'm confused.
Jesus, it's not Power World. Calm down.
But overall, what it has shown me is playing this and playing Shinobi 3 is that there is a plethora of Sega games out there that I really need to get into a lot more.
Just to experience? Or
just to experience.
We
Because
need to lock you down for like a Mega Drive day.
yeah, and just play a whole heap because I don't have enough experience because my vision as a kid was purely Nintendo. I didn't even want to touch Sega. I played, obviously, Alex Kidd and some of those games when I went over friends' places. But I was a Nintendo boy. And I fought in the world game console wars. I lost an arm, as many of you know, in the Great Console War. But I'm here today to say it's time to make amends with Sega brethren and join together for retro's sake. So I will be playing a lot more Sega games, probably, maybe.
Potentially.
Brayden, did you play this or were you too busy,
Fixing the show.
making everything work?
You know me. This green screen's wrong. You know me. Yeah, 100%. I would have liked to have because it looks like a lot of fun. I like the visual aspect to it. The stylings.
Well, I mean,
are
is there
nice.
any time, Brayden? You can play it whenever you want.
It is.
It's not illegal. I won't call the cops.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he
Thank
will.
you for that.
You're welcome.
But I'm not fixing this green screen right now. Oh my god. But yeah, I like the look of it. It's not entirely for me per se. Again, as someone who grew up in the era of the 3D platformer, like 2D platformers will always have that little bit of okay, I gotta be in the right headspace for it.
At least you're not like my daughter, who whenever she sees an 8 or 16-bit game goes, "This hurts my eyes. I can't play it."
Bless. Yeah, no, not quite that bad.
I've never been so enraged
I
as
don't
a
think
father.
you're ever going to let it go.
No, I'm not. I'm not. She's in the next room. I should make demands.
Locked, by the way, as punishment for not liking them.
Correct. No seeing people ever until you play Mario Kart.
It's been
Well,
84 years.
What it sounds like then is that for Game Club, I should revise my list entirely and just fill it with like the top of the tops, Mega Drive and
I
Sega
think
stuff.
add to it. Like I've just added a game now.
Yeah, nice.
Just keep adding to it.
If we do an original Mario Kart, I'm
Yep.
so in. I want multiplayer day.
Speaking of which, I have made some adjustments to Game Club. Nothing huge, but as a part of our new producer level, Patreon level,
Yes.
not only do you get to submit questions for our quiz at the end of the show, which has also been renamed, you also get to join the Game Club. That's right. For as little as whatever amount I put there, you can throw in the games that you would like us to be a part of.
And then they go into the draw when we
They
do
go
our
into the
dice
draw.
rolls.
So we have Dylan the Villain and Michael Towns, two very loyal, long-serving Patreon producers of You Don't Know Video Games, with their game picks.
Have
So
they put in multiple?
I've just seen one of Townsy's, and all I'm going to say is, always, I want to be with you, make believe with you. Done.
Did he say make babies with it?
Make
I think
believe.
you said make babies with you.
I heard make babies.
Yeah, I heard babies.
I hope I get to see it.
Oh!
So
That's for You Don't Know Only fans.
Yeah, you don't know OnlyFans. That is great. Was it off the cuff?
Yep.
Amazing.
Well done.
so everyone, round of applause for Anto when he comes up with a witty pun, but good old Ginger Nuts here comes up with something.
Well, when you come up with a witty pun, we'll give you a clap too.
Oh, I can't believe I just referred to myself as Ginger Nuts.
I know. I was going to let that go. Think like maybe that was a mistake. But ginger nuts.
So I've had a...
Imagine that, everyone.
What?
Yeah, dip that in some tea and have a crack.
First show of You Don't Know Video Games. Aren't you glad you tuned in?
So sorry. We'll see ourselves out now.
I believe that Anto and I have now had 3 games. 3 games each?
So I've done Donkey Kong Country, Shinobi 3, and Roystar, yeah.
Yep, and I've had Mario Brothers 3, Wolfenstein 3D, and Blaster Master.
I've had Space Quest 1 and Murdered Soul Suspect.
So you're due 1. Brayden's also due 1, and then the 2 new ones from the Patreon producers. So Brayden, can you please bring up a D4?
So we're going to assign numbers to the...
No, so we'll just go D4 to see whose pick it is, because Anto and I are out for this round because we've already had 3. Okay, so we've got 2.
Ooh.
And number 2 is, I believe it's Brayden.
Okay.
Okay, Brayden, you have 2 games there.
Please bring up a 2-sided die.
Two-sided die. Here we go.
So
Flip a
4
coin.
side, yep,
Flip a coin.
odds and evens. Number 1,
What's number 1?
Dicey
Ooh,
Dungeons.
you guys are in for a little bit of a treat with this one. Dicey Dungeons is really fun.
Yeah?
What is it on?
I'm going to pull up some footage. I believe it's a Game Pass-y type one or
Excellent. That's what I
something.
like to hear.
I don't know. You will have to double check. I wrote that list yonks ago. But if I bring up some footage so that you guys can have a bit of a tease of what Dicey Dungeons is like, it's a wonderful little game. So, it's a roguelike.
Oh, I
where
remember this.
Your cards that you use are all to do with the dice that you roll. And you roll a certain amount of dice, and then you have to apply those dice to your moves, and it adjusts how it affects it. It's really fun. Really fun. Cute art style. good time.
I just had a look at it on the PlayStation Store, so it is there for $22. But I would imagine if it's on Game Pass, that's probably the most
Dylan the Villain
economical way
can
to do
confirm it's on Game Pass.
Thank you, Dylan the Villain.
Thank you, Dylan the Villain.
it. This looks great.
Yeah, it's got a great visual style, and once you, because there's different characters you can choose from, and they've each got different skill set. Very fun.
So Dicey Dungeon. So if you would like to play the Stadia exclusive, as I'm being told by Michael Towns, Dicey Dungeon, and join in the conversation, you can over on our Discord. Simply head on over to hackthedino.com, press the button, and join us. If you would like to be a Patreon, please consider helping us keep the mics on.
Christ.
And that light that keeps winking out, we'll get that fixed. By
Speaking of winking,
heading over to Patreon.
I just got a message from a viewer
Yes.
about your ginger nuts.
Yes.
It says probably has ginger crack too.
No, because I'm naturally very hairless.
Oh, that's a visual.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't have any. I don't have any chest on my hair. It's like
Chest
just
on
my
your
Don't
hair.
have any chest in your hair?
Hair on my chest. I'm naturally like alopecia. Wink.
Christ.
What the fuck?
If you just tuned into You Don't Know Video Games for the first time, welcome.
Then we're sorry.
It's always like this. I thought I'd do something special for our very first show of You Don't Know Video Games. There is a very well-known video game, known to many, called Pokemon. And there is a main series of Pokemon games which follow some kind of bullshit storyline that no one really cares about. We, as a collective, are now going to sit here.
Can I just say Towns he's gone Power World ripoff?
Yeah, it just needs, Pokemon needs guns.
We're going to rank all the Pokemon games.
Hey, oh.
I will say, I have only finished 2 Pokemon games.
Right.
So I probably do not have much of a... I shouldn't have much of a say in this. I can basically say that starter looks cool.
Charizard?
No, I do have a favourite starter from the original.
Yep.
It is Bulbasaur.
Boring.
Interesting.
I respect that.
You like the plant frog?
The plant frog.
Yeah. Bulbasaur's a frog.
Is it?
Isn't he like a turtle?
Turtle.
No, he's a frog. He's
He's
got
a
a Squirtle's a turtle.
Holy shit.
Bulbasaur's a frog. Bring up. All right, Brayden.
Is he a frog?
Bring up.
He's
Hey
not a
you
turtle. He's
Pikachu.
got like the big bulby thing.
Hey you Pikachu, and Bulbasaur's walks.
He hops.
Venusaur's
He's got
walking. He's a frog.
No, you
Does
know
he
what? That
jump?
does make sense. Yeah.
Oh.
He is. He's just a little frog guy.
You never looked at him like that. But
Now
then again,
look up the walk cycle from Hey you Pikachu for Venusaur.
Yeah, right.
He does a little hoppy hop.
He's a grass wombat.
So we're only going to stick to the mainline games.
Oh,
The
what?
official canonical mainline games, because we've only got a limited amount of time.
So does that mean no mystery dungeons
Correct.
and snaps and stuff?
Correct.
Okay.
Just the mainline game. So Gen 1, although they don't refer them to as Gen 1. Kanto through to whatever, Paldea. Yeah, that's where we are now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
How we going there, Brayden?
Could not find it. Don't worry about it.
Look it up. It's a good time. Anyway. Venusaur hops like a frog. Okay, Pokemon. So what we're going to do is the first 2 titles that came out, and then the third one is separate because it is
Oh, really?
generally an improvement on the previous 2
Okay.
games.
Yeah, okay, I'm down for that.
All right, so what do we think? Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, as they were called over here in good old English world.
Are we just going in like 1, 2, 3, 4, or
Was this red and green when it was in
in Japan? Yeah, it was red and green.
Yes,
And then okay.
Blue
Well-
was the patched fixed version later.
correct. Technically, I mean, I thought we were going to do an S tier down to D tier, but this
That's
works.
what I thought we were doing too. But yeah, ranking them in 1 to 10 is probably the way to go.
No, there we go. Brain's fixed it. So I would say straight off the bat that yes,
Sad.
this is the first Pokemon game. But having said that, man, it was filled with bugs. Yes, it has nostalgia. Yes, it is filled with just childlike wonder. But I would say this is probably a solid B or an A is where I would put it.
Ooh, bad.
How grindy were these ones?
Not
Pretty,
super grindy,
oh, not
I'd say.
heaps.
No.
Like Adventure of Link's a lot more grindy.
I like Bulbasaur.
Cool.
And these are the first ones. My vote will go for A, but it's not based on any kind of gameplay.
So if we're taking, I'm going to try and sort of take nostalgia out of it for me and look at it objectively compared to the other titles.
Mm-hmm.
Lean into that mic, Anto.
I'm going to take nostalgia out of it for me and try and be objective based on how the games relate to other titles in the series. And if we're including the third game, so like Yellow, Emerald, Crystal, Platinum, whatever,
Correct.
that changes a hell of a lot for my list.
Yep.
So yellow is included in this?
Yeah.
No, yellow is next.
Yeah, yellow's
separate.
next.
Okay.
So that changes a lot of my opinions based on the fact that we're adding in the extra games. So for me, I would put red and blue, and again, objectively speaking, trying not to use nostalgia for it, I would put them in C tier.
Ooh. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not objecting to it, but I think there's certainly plenty of worse games than the first two. All right, so Floppy, where would you're happy with A? Brayden, what do you think? Did you ever play these ones original?
I have a question before we go on. Sorry, Brayden.
Go for it.
Are we doing remakes?
We are doing the canonical mainline Pokemon games, of which Fire Red and Leaf Green are involved. And
So Fire Red, Leaf Green are involved.
are separate.
Heart Gold, Soul Silver are in it?
Correct.
Fuck yeah. Okay, cool. I'm not going to get killed at the end of this.
I'm going to say B.
I've just put a word out. So I was talking to friend of the show, V to the Z, today about this because they are a huge Pokemon fan and have played, I'm going to guess, most of them, if not all of them. And I've just put word out saying, give me your votes and I'll use them. I'll vote by, is it proxy? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't know enough about these to make even an educated guess. I will say that straight up.
All right. Well, I'm saying B. What do you think, Anto?
For these ones, C. We didn't get Brayden's opinion.
Brayden?
I personally, I think I'm leaning C.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning C purely because I've tried to go back and play the OGs in the OG style, and I struggle with it a little bit.
Right, because
I feel like it's aged.
aged?
Yeah,
I mean, I can see that, but it's the same game for the past 20 years.
that's
so,
true.
You know, can't age that much. All right, well, I'm happy for them to go and see. I understand that. Even though the art's absolutely
Oh, the
fucking
art is
spectacular.
Genius.
The box art?
Yeah.
box-
The
box
art
art's
for all the
cool.
Pokemon.
Fun fact about the original 151 art, a lot of the reasons why Pokemon were certain colors was because of really bad quality scans of the artwork done in Nintendo Japan or Game Freak.
That's
out.
right.
So a lot of Pokemon are actually completely different, but now it's canonically so that they aren't their original colors because of poor quality images.
Okay, next one. Pokemon Yellow. This is easily A tier.
Now, this is the one that was based more on the cartoon, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can get all three starters in this. You start with Pikachu. You get all three starters. You battle Jesse and James. And
Team Rocket.
their names are Ash and Gary as opposed to Red and Blue.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and yes, as Michael Towns in the live chat points out, you can get Surfing Pikachu. So,
yeah.
I am going to come right out and say vast improvement on the first two. The fact that it tied into the game, the fact that everyone wanted this, I'm going to say this is easily A tier.
I would agree with that.
Anto?
So I've
dear.
shot myself in the foot because I said I'm going to try and not use my nostalgia and be objective.
No, you can use nostalgia. Who
I'm waiting to
cares?
see if I get instructions as to what I'm going to vote.
I'm a basic bitch when it comes to Pokemon and which ones are my favorite. Pikachu
yeah.
has always been my favorite Pokemon ever since I
It's
saw
all right.
him.
Charizard's mine, so or Mewtwo.
So for that reason and the fact that when this was announced and came out over Blue, I was still playing Blue after I'd finished it, and then I knew this was coming, and I was like, holy fuck, I'm done. That's the game for the rest of my life kind of thing. Because of that, I would argue A, but objectively, because of the fact that it's, it's still one of the first Pokemon games, I would put it in B, because if I don't, everything else after this is going in S and A.
No, not necessarily. Floppy?
Brayden? Has Brayden gone?
No,
Brayden said A.
I was going to say I'd say low A to high B.
Yeah, that's exactly where I go with it. I'm
I
not
said
sure.
A.
I'm getting instructions, but I don't know what they are. Yeah, I might have to go on my own if I can't get them in time. I'll go with A.
A? I think
Floppy,
it needs to go on A.
if you don't get instructions in time, I feel like you should base it purely on the box art.
Yeah.
Oh, A.
All right, let's go A because I think we all agree that it kind of deserves to be there. Maybe.
Oh, I'm going to go with A because my instruction giver didn't play yellow.
Oh. And calls herself a Pokemon fan. Whoa.
Dude, don't open that
No,
can of worms.
I'll get beaten up.
Big Pokemon fan.
Okay, next round of games, which I'm excited for.
You can tell me because I get very nervous that I'm going to pull up the wrong one.
Gold and silver.
Yeah, cool.
Gold and silver. I am going to say B or A. Because these were a vast improvement on the original games while still holding the same visual, the same appeal. Had a little bit of colour thrown in. The big surprise in the end that after you defeat all 8 gyms and then defeat the champion, you can then go back to Kanto because they didn't think that there was going to be any more Pokemon games after this.
Really?
Yeah. They
How
had no
wrong
idea.
were they?
So
There was
you
gonna
could go
be 400.
You went back to Kanto. You went back to the first game, did all those gyms. Then you went up the top of Mount Moon and you faced...
Mount Silver.
Oh, sorry, Mount Silver.
Hang on.
You faced
So I
Red.
know this.
Yeah, you've done this.
No, I haven't played this one though. I played Soul Silver. Is that exactly the same?
Soul Silver's a remake of Silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you go up and you face Red or Ash, who has a level 85 Pikachu.
That's great. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
And we owe the fact that you could go back to Kanto to Satoru Iwata-san because he's a genius programmer and was able to go, hey, I know a few tips and tricks that you guys can use to compress and make the game file smaller so that we can save money on memory, but it will also allow us to put Pokemon Red and Blue basically in the game.
Yep. So I think A without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. A. Absolutely A.
And I'm only saying A because I have certain Pokemon games that are 100% S tier.
Yep.
And this isn't equal with them.
Same.
And I think you and I are going to agree a lot on this. All right, so Pokemon Soul and Silver in A. And now we're going to go on to Crystal.
Oh yeah, my vote definitely A.
Okay. We're going to Crystal, Pokemon Crystal, and I'm just going to say it here, this is our first S tier game.
Crystal. Why is Crystal an S tier for you?
So everything that was good about Pokemon Gold and Silver, they made massive improvements. It's the first time you could choose whether you wish to be a male or a female in the game instead of being forced to be a male. It is overall expanded storyline. The storyline's tightened up.
The art is better, like the pixel art and sprites were reworked.
Correct. The reason this game sells for so much money nowadays, like just the cartridge is $175.
The cartridge is beautiful.
Oh yeah, the cartridge is wonderful. It's like clear with little sparkles in it.
Yeah, it's great.
This was the worst selling Pokemon game.
Really?
Yep. So if you have a box copy of this, you're looking at $700.
Holy
Was it like? Was it
Nikes.
worth selling because I don't know? What were the starters in this?
Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita.
Was that why?
I think they're some of the best Pokemon designs ever.
I mean, I'm very partial to Gen 1.
What were the starters in Soul Silver? Silver and Gold.
Yeah,
Same.
Chikorita, Totodile, and
And they're the
Cyndaquil.
same in this one. Okay.
Yes. It's just more of a focus on the legendary dogs as opposed to the two legendaries.
Okay.
They're not dogs, they're tigers, aren't they? No, they are dogs.
Yeah, they're dogs.
I've just been sent instructions. I vote Crystal is God tier.
Yep,
Yep,
S.
S.
S tier.
I agree.
You agree, Anto?
Yep.
I like this. This is fun.
Brayden, did you play this one?
No, I've not played this one, so I'm going to agree with everything you're saying. Sounds good to me.
Oh, here we go. Little fun fact. V to the C. This is the one that they bought recently to complete the set again.
Oh, there you go.
I think Ben and I will
remember
need to really sort of look at our schedules and lock down a time to stream what I'm about to suggest. So I own a bootleg copy of
Nice.
Pokemon Crystal.
Oh, I remember seeing a bit of this.
It is
It's
called,
ridiculous.
within like the fandom and like sort of the cult existence of it, it's referred to as Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal, which is a Chinese ROM, which was translated into English, then into Vietnamese, and then back into English.
Wow.
Because of that, the dialogue is completely screwed. All the
Fantastic.
terminology is different, and it is absolutely hilarious. We need to do it.
Okay, we can do that.
Alright.
I have a certain little program that we can use to do
Exactly.
that. All right, next
What is
game.
the next one?
Next game is
Everyone call me
Ruby
Elf Monster.
and Sapphire. Now, here's
D-tier.
where... Oh, I was about to say, here's where I become unpopular and say this is a D tier game.
D tier.
I completely agree.
Too much water.
Too much water. Too much water. I have a box Sapphire. I haven't
That
played it
was-
yet. I haven't played it yet though.
That was actually a complaint in an IGN,
IGN
review.
review.
Too much water.
Too much water.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's a meme.
He appears to be a whale.
It's a meme now, but
I'm not going to go. There's a bit of water.
the reason that criticism exists is because, yes, there was a fuck ton of water in like the overworld that you had to like traverse, but also a good like 70% or so of the new Pokemon were water type.
Yep.
So it was really boring by the end.
Yep. And we didn't have dual types at this stage either.
No, I don't think so.
No, that was Gen 4, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm saying D, Anto saying D. What are you saying, Brayden?
I'm saying D because the third of this one is
Way better.
real good.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm also saying D.
I think that's a unanimous decision.
All right,
Oh.
so
Terrible.
Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire down to the Ds.
He loves
These
the
nuts.
D, got him.
D. Get that D.
All right, so number 3, also known as Pokemon Emerald. Okay, so this for me is either A or S. I'm thinking more towards A.
So is this not... How different is this from the other ones?
A little bit. It's got a little bit of extra mission on the end. Bit of post game where you get Rayquaza. Now, I think the reason this game is held in such high regard is because of Rayquaza.
This is
And
where
because of that
Rayquaza
boxer.
came from?
Absolutely correct.
Right, okay.
So that's why I don't think it's quite an S game, because it's building on games that we've just said were D, weren't that great, weren't that memorable.
How does it jump that far to S?
I don't think it is S. I think it's A.
Oh, okay.
I would respectfully put it in B.
I'm happy with B. Anto, what do you think?
I'm going to chuck this down into... Do we have a tier below D?
Wow.
Yeah, it's called F.
The only reason I'm saying this is because the first time I played this, the first shiny Pokemon I ever encountered was like a chance encounter, not like the Red Gyarados in Gold and Silver.
Oh, no.
The first shiny Pokemon I ever saw, like, I guess naturally is the way to put it, was the
They're called
Poochyena.
Full Odd Shiny.
Full odd shiny. So the first one I saw was the Poochyena that you are forced to KO at the beginning of the game when you first get your starter,
You're
and it
forced
was
to
in
KO.
Pokemon Emerald.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's-
It's heartbreaking.
Horrible story.
Look at this beautiful boy.
It's beautiful, right?
Oh,
Anyway, other than that, we'll take that personal experience out of
So
it.
you're not allowed to capture it.
No, you can't.
It's a forced encounter.
And it was shiny.
Yep.
How do they... That's weird. Is
It's
that
like
not
1 in
weird that you
5,000.
would, yeah, but is it not weird that they made one that you can't
You would
capture
think that
shiny?
they would shiny lock those forced
Yeah.
encounters just to stop that type of thing.
So
But
for
they
that reason,
shiny lock them. They're
Okay.
always shiny.
fuck it off, don't care. But objectively speaking, I would put this in A.
My vote goes to B, because one of the reasons being Rayquaza is dope.
Yep.
And also, sorry for your loss, Anto.
Thank you.
All right, so we're looking at B or A.
How many Bs do we have?
None.
Oh, I said B.
I reckon I think B.
Oh, I thought you meant how many games have we put in B so far.
No. How many votes for B?
Yeah,
Was it
I
3?
said A. So yeah, I reckon B.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay, Gen 4, the relaunch, because those Ruby and Sapphire games did not go so well. This was when I got heavily into Pokemon. Like, I made a team. I started EV training. I IV trained. I did all of it.
Really
You know
became a
life
nerd.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the Pokerus for the first time.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting?
Oh, shit, we are too.
Yeah,
anyway,
we got
forget
to
what I
Gen
said.
3.
Oh,
Okay.
so these are remakes of the OG.
Yep.
Yes, all right, A tier.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh, what do you say?
Oh.
S tier.
All right, I'm happy with S tier.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
These
Yeah.
games were amazing.
Why
These
are
are
they
rare.
S over
These
A?
are it.
So,
So these games are the remakes of the first one.
Yes.
All new pixel art.
Are they coloured? Obviously
Yes,
they are. They're
yes,
coloured.
yes. Like almost 16-bit
Okay.
Pokemon game. And yeah, I take it back what I said. This is fucking S tier. Yeah.
and my reasoning is, again, like, remakes of the first brought up to, at the time, like, modern standards, so they made sense, like, mechanically. Things like special attack and defense weren't quite introduced yet, but, like, stats weren't busted, so Pokemon could actually, be viable even if they weren't, viable. Aesthetically, it looks amazing. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the games that made the Nintendo introduced ray tracing 25 years ago thing, because, like, reflections would happen in water when you walk past it. The sprite work is absolutely gorgeous. The audio, even though the Game Boy Advance, like, speaker and sound chip isn't great, they somehow made the music just hit just so much harder than the originals. They're just really well-made, lovingly crafted, just they're love letters to the original, and
the reason that they were made was because there was no way that you could get the original 151 Pokemon off the original games and trade them up to Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah.
So they needed to make them again so you could actually get those Pokemon.
Okay.
So yeah, S tier for these two.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, going also with S due to colors, upgrades, and coolness of the originals.
Right, now we go to Gen 4, which is Pearl and Diamond. Now, I actually have a really soft spot for them because, again, these came out just as my daughter was born. She was born shortly thereafter. So I played a lot of these games, nursing her on my lap, just building up my Pokemon. So I'm going to say B for these.
Is that why, though? Is that nostalgia? Or are you looking
No,
at
because
objectively?
if it was nostalgia, it would be higher. I'm trying to pull that back.
Like me.
Okay.
A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these were the first. Okay, so
I've got a story as well, so after Brayden tells his.
Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald should have been my first Pokemon, and I wish it was. But the only access to it I had was a guidebook for Emerald. So I read that thing cover to cover. I knew so much about Emerald. I loved Emerald. I'd never played it. Pokemon Diamond was
You
my
still
first proper full-on Pokemon game.
Still
that
got
I
that
to
that guidebook there, Brayden?
No, I wish I did. But this was my first proper full-on Pokemon game, and I absolutely loved it.
And here's a little fact for you. A couple of weeks back, Brayden came across a garage sale. And Brayden found in there a Pokemon Diamond. And I said, "Ooh, I'll take that Pokemon Diamond." And Brayden went, "Yeah, sure thing."
for
So
it.
I purchased it off Brayden. And one thing I like to do when I come across Game Boy games in the wild is, two things. DS games. Any Pokemon game. I like to boot it up and just raid all the Pokemon out of the box and just put it in transfer it over to my bank. So I've got all these Pokemon. Booted up this game, and the main character's name was Brayden. And I went, that's an unusual name. So
Did you just assume Brayden had tried it out?
I know. I sent Brayden a message, said, "Brayden, what's going on here? Why has this game got your name on it?" And then Brayden replied, "Yeah, you got me. It was actually an empty case, and I decided to part with my Pokemon Diamond copy to make it a full one." And I went, "Well, guess what?" And I went over to my collection because I had Pearl. I didn't have Diamond. Diamond I picked up later. And I took out the cart from my collection, put that aside, and I got Brayden's cart. And now Brayden's original Diamond lives in my Pokemon collection.
Hey.
Yeah, it lives
That's cool.
on. It lives on.
That's cool.
And you know what? Something else I've been doing? I haven't actually told you guys any about this. But you know
I thought you said you were going to try and stop.
You know the Game Boy Studio add-on I've got for the PC?
Yep.
That plays. It also can save games.
Like back them up.
Like back them up to your PC. So whenever I come across a Pokemon game in the wild, I look at what's on there and I take the save and I back it up and I keep it on my computer and just say sort of whose game it is, what things they have.
That's
so
adorable.
I
That's
thought,
great.
you know, it'd be really cool getting a web page up where you can look at different people's saves and different like I came across one the
Imagine
other
you
day.
could go and find your original save. Like, mate, I sold mine 20 years ago. Maybe it's on here.
Yeah,
That would be a sick thing to do.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's just sort of what
It's
I'm
like
thinking.
following your
It's an
ancestors.
animal shelter.
Yeah, it's for Pokemon. That's just a fun thing that I do. So I might look at doing something like that. I don't know. You need time to do this stuff, and those cartridges are not cheap. No. Anyway, I would say B.
I have never played them, like in their original form. So I skipped Gold and Silver because I was very poor, as was most of my family, if not all of them, because, you know, same family. So I couldn't afford to get Pokemon Gold and
Just your
Silver.
mum sitting on a gold throne going,
I wish my kids would get that job.
I played Gold and Silver a lot later, like just before Ruby and Sapphire came out. I didn't play these, so I fell off Pokemon after Ruby and Sapphire was so disappointing. Mm-hmm. And then got back into it with the next set of Gen 4 games.
oh, yes. All right. Brayden?
So I can't really vote.
I can understand that these are probably a B tier game, and I like the fact that they're there next to Emerald because it hits my childhood really well.
That fits spiritually for you.
Yeah, and my name starts with B, so it checks out.
And Floppy?
Same.
Same B?
Yep.
All right.
in
Slot
B.
them into B. Oh, boy. And next, I'm not afraid to say, but we have our next S tier game coming right up.
Oh, Platinum.
Pokemon Platinum is probably the most significant third game in the series, of any of the series. not only did it add extra content and a whole extra area and a whole extra post game, it added a freaking cutscene halfway through it.
Oh, wow.
And this cutscene's epic, and you could only get it once. And so I still remember it's like big bass going doom, 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 and it felt really primal, like something was actually happening.
And you were like, cutscene, time to go get a drink.
No, it was amazing. Yeah, this is a fantastic game. S tier, I don't care what you say.
I'm pretty sure this is also the last third game in the series.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Like, it's the last time they were like,
Oh.
hey, here's a third, like, bonus game.
And funnily enough, it again sold the worst out of all the games,
it's so
like the
weird.
Crystal and then Platinum. Again, that's why they're worth so much. So Platinum now retails for about $200, $250.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, amazing game. We're going S, I think.
V never had this one, so yeah, we'll go with you.
All right, and Brayden, you're happy with S?
Oh, extremely. Yeah, 100%. This is my generation, baby. All about it.
Okay, what do we got next?
That's a great question.
We've got Oros, don't we?
No
we
way.
good? No?
Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Oh, another S tier.
Absolutely S tier.
S tier. Beep.
I mean, I can vote for this one. I played Soul Silver.
Yes, and do you want to tell the story about the Pokemon that you had?
This was my first ever Pokemon game.
Good game to have. It's all downhill from
So
here.
I picked this one up. I picked this one up relatively cheap, and it was also a complete boxed copy, Poker Walker. It's got the little backing. I didn't know what that thing was. I'm like, that stupid little thing that's in this box.
Throw it out in the bin.
Threw it out in the bin. Then went, oh no, I probably shouldn't do that.
So each of these box copies, $400 a piece.
Would you like to know how much I paid for it?
Yeah.
$48.
My sister had a boxed Heart Gold complete, and she sold it for $20.
To you?
Actually, no,
No.
I didn't pay 48. I would have paid $39.
You would have paid
About
36.80.
39, yeah, something like that. But anyway, so this was my first ever foray into Pokemon. And where I was working at the time, it was relatively quiet. I had a lot of downtime, so
I remember.
I would play it at my desk.
Yeah, I remember it.
I would play it at my desk. And I put a couple of hundred hours into this thing.
Yep.
Over a long period of time. I would play it on public transport because I was working in the city, so I would jump on trams and buses and things like that. I didn't know anything about Pokemon apart from what anyone else would have known just from sort of just being around and alive at the time.
You got to catch them all.
Well, yeah, I knew that. I knew that it was a TV show. I knew the names of some Pokemon. I was chatting to Ben at some point, and he was showing me. I can't remember what we were looking
Machop.
at. Yeah, but I can't remember what we were looking at it on.
Yeah, I think it was just the PC at some
PC or something, and I was like, "Oh, he's wrong color."
point. I just went, what?
And I was like, "Well, I've got a Machop." I used him as like my main guy. Like he was cool because he was like green.
Floppy, you had a shiny.
I didn't even know what a shiny was. I didn't know that was a thing.
You
That
had a
was just
1
my
in
dude.
5,000 chance Pokemon.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. But yeah, so from what I have heard from everyone else, this is one of the top things. Playing this as a first one may have kind of almost ruined Pokemon for me.
Yeah, it did. This is quintessential. This was the first game where your buddy Pokemon would follow you around on the map. And you could interact with it, and it had Celebi, the Celebi mission that you could download. My God, what a fantastic game. I used to, at the time I was working in a cafe, I used to put the Pokewalker on my belt, and I'd wear it as I was walking around in the cafe.
Same thing, but fish and chip shop.
Yep.
Like just
It was
running backwards
great.
and forwards from the front and back of the store. It was just getting my steps in, leveling up with Pokemans.
I just received a photo from V to Z of their Soul Silver inbox with paperwork, minty fresh.
Lovely.
One of my old bosses used to play football and go out for footy training and stuff, and would put the Poker Walker in his sock and go out for footy training, and we'd just be doing laps.
Man.
And it's like S tier.
Yep, S tier.
S tier.
S tier. Top
Well,
of the
We're,
S tier.
we're an S tier.
No, like we're not. This is the upper echelon of Pokemon. This is like the king.
But I would say this is the best Pokemon
Yeah.
game.
So are we going to move it to the front of S tier?
No, we don't have to.
we're
It's
not
too much
we're not
work for
doing
Brayden
that?
at the moment.
Okay.
All right, it's not too much work for Brayden.
Everything that has already been said about these games, I agree with. I also have a lot of like nostalgia for these ones because I was playing them a lot pre and post spinal surgery recovery. So yeah, it was a good time.
I thoroughly enjoyed that game.
No, great games. I might play them again.
I'm actively playing one.
Yeah,
again at
in
the
a
moment.
Nuzlocke,
Yeah,
aren't you?
I took a Nuzlocke
On
live stream.
Twitch.
Yeah, on Twitch.
Yeah.
I was
Catch that out.
surprised because I, not knowing and playing a Pokemon game, I defeat the four dudes from
Elite
Gym
Four.
Bosses, the Elite Four. Thought I'd won,
Yep.
And then found out whole nother bit to go.
Oh, yeah.
It
All
was
right.
like a whole other game.
Next game
We
in
didn't
the
get Braden's
series. Oh, Brayden?
Wait, what? Pat? I was so focused on moving things in Canva.
Okay. Soul Silver, Heart Gold. You happy with that?
Very.
Cool. All right. What's the next game?
I'm pretty sure it's Pokemon X and Y.
Really? We're there already?
think so.
Ugh, X and
Is
Y.
it-
No,
Is it-
Black and White.
Black and white, of course. Black and white too. Black and white, I personally would give...
A.
I would say B.
No, A.
All right.
I mean, I can't override your opinion, but for me, it's an A. And the reason is because it was like a generational leap forward as far as like visuals, sprite work, music, general like game feel. It felt a lot more mature.
Oh, definitely more mature.
Plots for Black and White are amazing. The antagonist,
I like the way
incredible.
the plot for Black and White is, you shouldn't keep small animals and balls
it's
and
like,
treat them
hey,
as
no,
slaves.
You shouldn't enslave these creatures.
Oh, by the way, you
their will.
shouldn't do this thing that
Sorry.
we've made you do for the last
But the twist
15
was,
games.
no, you shouldn't do that because we want to do it to control the world.
Yeah.
Oh, so then they're like, oh no, but now we're doing it, but it's not as bad. So.
Yeah. No, we're doing it and we're doing it for evil. You're doing it because
Yeah.
you're friends with them.
Yeah.
No, we're giving them minimum wage now.
We're giving them $4 Poké an hour.
My vote is going to A, because they had sexy sprites, really cool Pokemon. They introduced Chandelure.
Chandelure.
Yep.
Ghost type.
Yeah.
All right, I'm happy with A. And Black 2, White 2.
I really liked Black and White too.
I own them. I've played them. I bought them at launch.
Are
I
they the same?
cannot remember them.
Or are they a continuation?
It's a sequel. It's
Yeah,
the first
sequel.
time they did a sequel was the third game.
I would
The hints in the two.
see. I would probably put them in
Dickhead.
B
Yeah.
because I didn't play it as much as Black and White.
Like the fact that I can't remember what happened in
Yeah.
Black 2 and White 2,
Would
I
that
think.
not be like a C? I mean,
It's still a really good game. Though.
yeah, but still
Sounds-
really
is,
good.
is it better
Forgettable,
than
though.
Red and Blue?
probably
If
not.
you can't even remember it.
No, I think C
if you
actually.
can't remember it, surely that's like
Yeah,
an
you
F.
know what?
Not because they're
That's-
bad games, but they're not memorable.
That's
Yeah.
a solid argument. I agree with C.
Yep, I say C.
When we're done, Brayden,
Yo.
did you play Black and White?
No, the only DS Pokemon game that I had was Diamond.
Okay.
And then I played through Soul Silver yonks later.
Okay. So when we're done with the show,
Yeah.
we're gonna listen to the Team Plasma Battle theme.
Ooh. Okay.
Because that is one of the reasons I love Black and White so much.
Absolute banger.
Absolute banger.
Nice.
All right, next up
Is
we
the next
have
one X and Y?
X and Y.
X and Y.
These were my daughter's first Pokemon games.
A.
And I still remember sitting at my desk on my computer, and she comes out, and I'd never encountered, besides the obviously event shinies and whatnot, I'd never encountered a full odd shiny. And Parker came out one day and said, "Dad, I got a shiny. Can you help me catch it?" And I went, "All right, yeah, okay, sure you do." Got a Pokemon game. Sure enough, she had a red Scorponix there. What the? You get one before me? And she loved it. I've got a soft spot. Another. Oh, this is adorable. I do karate. In case you don't know,
You like karate?
I do
You like
karate.
karate?
Yeah,
Next
I do.
minute you'll be saying
You're
you make
a
coffee too.
Fourth Dan now?
No, still third Dan. But I got my
Dan.
examiner license at the
Hey.
weekend, so I can now give people belts.
Ooh, can I
And examine. He can give people examinations.
That's right. I was training one day. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I was training one day, and Parker was watching me because she was obviously young at the time. And all of a sudden, from the sideline, she just burst into tears and runs into the toilet. And I sort of looked at my sensei.
Is this a story we're supposed to be sharing?
And he said, go. And I went there, and just she was coming out of the toilet. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "My Raichu." And I said, "What about?" She goes, "It said release, so I released it, and now it's gone."
Oh no!
And I went, "It's okay. Give me your game. Have you turned it off? Have you saved it?" "No." I went, "Okay." Turned it off.
Turn it back on.
Turned it back on.
Oh, last save point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
And it was still there. And she calmed down. And I went,
Wow.
"You know what?" So I went home that night.
She was pissed. Last save point was like 2 hours ago.
I got her, after she went to bed, I got her DS out. I got all of her Pokemon, got all their stats, all their levels, and then I went on my game and made sure I cloned every single goddamn Pokemon she had
Aw.
and put it in a box in case this happened again.
Right, you had freedom for like 10 minutes.
But having said
Back
that,
in your box, Raichu.
I'm going to say these are a good B tier. Solid B.
All right, I've got a vote here with some reasonings.
Okay, go for it.
X was the best game ever. Top. Hundreds of hours. Loved the post story too. Was fun, different, interesting, didn't drag. And V did shameful amounts of shiny hunting on... and the only new game I've finished the full decks.
Oh, there you go.
Top
Oh,
tier
by the way,
favorite Pokemon game. by the way.
Pokemon Pearl, I finished the national decks. In fact, I finished the national decks in Pearl, X and Y, and the other one. Oros, which is next, I think.
So V and I have that as an S. What do you have it as?
I'm B.
A B. Anto?
I'm an A. But just personally, but also these are A tier. For me, similar reasons to what's just been described. I spent hundreds of hours in them because I thought the storyline, again, though basic for, because it's a kids RPG effectively, I thought it was much, much better and more solid than the original, better than Ruby and Sapphire, better than what I knew of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Probably not quite as solid as Black and White, but still up there. I also got into shiny hunting with this one specifically and spent a ridiculous amount of time building a team of my favorites.
Speaking of ridiculous amount of times, we're going to have to fast forward through these because my computer's about to die.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And we've been going for almost an hour. So let's speed through. So, Brayden, what do you think?
I really actually like Pokemon X and Y, mainly because I didn't play them, but I watched Griffin's Nuzlocke run on Polygon. And my god, such a good run.
Yeah.
V has changed,
Seabreeze, the return of the Shorts boy. Oh man, love it.
Yeah, Shorts Boy came back in this one.
Okay, I think we've got I'm a B and everyone else is A. So,
Yeah.
in A.
In A. All right, what's next?
I
Mega
think
Ruby
we have...
and Alpha Sapphire.
Correct. This was where I got my first full-on shiny.
Hey.
This game. That's how long... I've been playing these since I was 14 years old, and it took the Oros remake for me to actually get a shiny. Vast improvement on the original games. It made it a lot more enjoyable. I think they made the surf a lot quicker.
Yep.
So you weren't...
That's the one where you can scoot around on their back.
Yeah, but you weren't doing it bloop, bloop, bloop at the time. They made it a lot quicker, so it was a lot more tolerable. I'd say Oros is a good B.
I'd agree. Yeah, I didn't enjoy them as much as X and Y or the
call
later
Oros?
games.
Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire.
But fun. And the post-game, extra expanded Rayquaza episode that they gave you.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was great. That's with Deoxys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, yeah, solid B.
All right, and are you agreed?
Yeah,
was
let's go with
next?
B.
We'll go with B.
After that,
If we don't
I
have
believe
Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon. Wow.
D.
Yeah, I'd say
Didn't
C.
enjoy 'em.
I'd say C. Just because I don't think it was very fleshed out, and I think the ones that came after this prove that it wasn't that fleshed out. So I'm happy with a C or a D. Brayden, what do you think?
What did Anto want?
I wanted D, and my reasoning is just because, although, again, children's RPG, this fucking game did not stop holding your hand. Tutorials every 5 minutes through, the first 3 or 4 gyms. It was insufferable.
I didn't like the somewhat a cultural appropriation from it.
Hawaiian theming and shit.
Yeah, well, they had the whole idea of the game is that there's this one professor who wants to make a Pokemon League because they have these trials. And what it's basically saying is, no, we're going to wipe out the old customs so we can be more like the
Traditional
mainland.
gyms and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and that really didn't sit well with me.
Weird.
I got some comments here. The hand holding was pain. The baddies music was cool though. First one with checkpoints you had to go to.
Yeah, I'm happy with D. All right, next.
Yes, Android
Ultra Sun,
Grid, so
Ultra
yeah.
Moon.
This was vastly better.
I would put them in C.
Much better storyline. Still was that appropriate. I'm happy with B, but yes, probably C.
C.
Yep.
C?
Yeah, C.
Sounds right
Yep,
to
same.
me.
Okay.
Next, probably Sword and Shield, right?
I think it's more...
Let's go, Pikachu!
let's go.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
Yep.
The second game I finished.
I wasn't sure if we were going to be doing these.
Are we doing Let's Go, Brayden?
Well, they're
here
a
we are.
remake.
Yeah,
Yep.
fair,
No,
fair.
they're part of the canonical ones.
Son of a goose.
A or S?
A.
I'm happy with A or S.
A.
I think these
I
are wonderful.
personally can comment on these ones because I played them. There was the first ones I could get. I played with my children, my young children. Sorry, I'm going to put them in A because I found them
They're good games.
way more
Fun blast from the
way
past.
more accessible for people who don't grind out hundreds of hours.
Yep.
and it was fun.
Yep. No, I agree.
Absolute delight, visually and gameplay wise.
Oh, they looked
really
really
lovely.
good.
Yep. All right. A.
Agreed. I would put them in S only if wild counters still existed.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. And then next up we have
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
F.
Whoa.
I'd say the wild area was pretty cool.
I didn't play these.
I'm gonna say D.
Treegate. F.
What's Treegate?
It was people complaining about how the trees look much like Spider-Man's
No,
puddles.
I can't put this
okay.
in. I can't put this in F if I've let Sun and Moon sit in D. So for me, they're D tier.
Yeah, I think they're dear too.
Again,
The Dynamax was really cool though, especially with someone who likes giant battles with giant things.
I like kaiju and
And
I like
I-
big monsters.
you
I
can't tell me
remember
that the Dynamax theme wasn't awesome.
I hated it.
Da, 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 da,
Yeah, see, as
da,
someone-
da, 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 da.
As someone who doesn't go to and particularly enjoy like big arena like sports events and stuff like that, I just don't get the appeal to it.
It was a couple of Godzillas fighting the shit out of each
But
other.
also,
It's great.
Dynamaxing slowed down the combat even more than Pokemon already is quite slow.
That's true.
And
So
it
it
was just a pain to get through.
Sword and Shield that had raiding.
Had
Yes, it had
Right,
raids. Yeah.
Played a fair bit. Felt very empty, and the raiding was painful.
what? All right, I'm happy with D.
So D,
Next, we
What
have.
was next?
It's so hard to remember.
Arceus.
No, that's not mainline.
The next one would have
Isn't it?
been Scarlet and Violet.
No, remake.
Oh,
F game.
F.
Yep.
Bad remake.
I tried to play Diamond, and fuck that.
Yeah. Really bad games.
Yep. F.
Really bad games. I still finished them, but really bad remakes.
This makes me sad. Oh, just like watching. It's like watching the thing you liked as a child, and then it gets re-released, and it's just.
But you look at the other remakes they've got up there.
Yeah.
They're all high end.
Yeah.
You've got Kanto at A,
Rough.
Kanto at S. You got Heart Gold, Soul Silver at S.
It's because these were outsourced.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't done by the Pokemon company.
Wasn't made by Pokemon.
They
team.
were DNA,
Yeah.
I think, did them.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're up to
Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet. I mean,
I can't comment
I
because I
can.
haven't played them. But
I
from
still
observations,
play them.
I am going to put them in B because mechanically they're quite sound.
Yep.
But I'm putting them in B because they're still, to this day, a buggy mess.
Are they?
It had so much potential. I still play these games. Shiny hunting, they've made a lot of fun there. They've done a lot of stuff with outbreaks. I'll say B. Yep, B.
Do you want to, very quickly, I'll summarize as best I can. The reason this game, or these games, performed so badly, like in terms of like actual hardware performance on the Switch, is because for some fucking reason, Pokemon Company decided that the world was like less than 2% of the overall size of the world box that everything existed in within the game. So like they had an area, like a body of water that existed as like the planetoid that you're on in the game that is like something like 300% bigger than the mass of land that you play the game on. And because it was rendering that in real time along with the world that you could see, that's why it performs so
That's
badly.
a really odd
It
way
is
of doing things.
So badly optimized and so poorly made.
Look, next gen is Gen 10. I'm hoping this was a necessary fumble. So when Gen 10 drops, let's be realistic, probably next year.
Also, don't buy it on the original Switch. Wait for the next system.
Yeah, look, it's going to be 2025, 2026 before these games come out. So I'm hoping that this crawled so Gen 10 could run.
Yeah.
I'm happy with B. Everyone else?
Did you say D?
B.
For the buggy mess that this was?
I mean, it's not that bad. It's
Like,
no more buggier
You
than...
got it higher
The bugs detract
than
from it.
red and blue.
Yes.
Yeah, because like
It's open world and shiny
objectively,
hunting,
they're
and it's a
better.
lot more fun.
Okay.
There's a lot more
I don't have an
gameplay
opinion
in
on this one. Neither does V. Really played like 40 minutes.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed enough. I still go back and play it in shiny hunt today. Shiny hunting's actually really cool because you just walk around a corner and there'll be, oh, hello, blue Houndoom.
If they
How do you know if they're shiny if you don't know what shinies are? Like me. How would I know it's a shiny?
You don't.
you won't unless you know what the mechanic is. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no like visual. They don't have like a spark.
Yeah,
When you battle them, they go, bring.
There's like a ring of light that appears around
But
them.
just
and
by
there's a
looking at
bunch
them,
of
I wouldn't know
flashy
it's a shiny.
No.
Because I don't know what color they're meant to be anyway.
Correct. All right, there we go. Brayden, can we export that? We're going to put that in the Discord and leave it open to you to come into our Discord and
Tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, argue with us about how right we are. If you want to know where that Discord is, simply head on over to hackthedino.com and follow the prompts to join our Discord for free. But now, even though we are running late, we still have time to play our little quiz game, which used to be called Quiz on Your Face, but I'm renaming it now. As I renamed the show is called You Don't Know Video Games, so the quiz is now called Do They Know Video Games?
Oh.
Hey!
So at the end...
I didn't get my glasses.
For those of you who don't know, I have 4 questions here. 2 are from our Patreon producers and 2 are from me. For multiple choice, whoever yells out their name first after I've finished the questions gets to have a chance at answering. So far, this year, we have Jazz on 1, Angie on 3, I'm on 6, Zach is on 8, Anto's on 14, Brayden's on 15, and Floppy's on 19.
I'm taking
Okay.
my glasses off
Where-
because I can't see your laptop
I
screen
didn't.
if I do.
I didn't think about
I'm
this
just
before.
facing this
Right
way a bit.
now,
Sorry, yes.
we aren't restarting the numbering.
No, we're carrying on.
I mean, we
Carry
could.
No, we're carrying on.
We are not fucking stopping now.
Okay, so for my first question, as you know, I get 2 questions until someone else ponies up some Patreon money.
Damn.
I found this book out on one of my many retro hunts. It's called Test Your Video Game IQ. And how we're going to roll with this is I'm going to flip pages and Floppy's going to say stop. And I'm going to stop on that page. And then I'm going to say choose a number between this. And then Anto's going to choose a number. And that's going to be the question I ask.
All right.
So here we go.
Yep.
Floppy, say stop.
Stop.
Okay. Anto, pick a number between 226 and 233.
26. What was it? 226?
Yep.
Yeah, that.
226. Okay. Oh, good. Right up your alley, this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
great. Name
have
the composer
egg on
of
my
this.
face when I lose.
Just let
Name
me-
the composer of this bit of music that no one's ever heard.
Okay, 226. The first EA Sports FIFA video game to feature original licensed music by popular artists was A, FIFA 64, B, FIFA 98, Road to the World Cup, C, FIFA 2001, or D, FIFA Street.
Anto.
Floppy.
Anto?
C, FIFA Street.
Incorrect.
Dang.
Can I say D, FIFA Street? Because wasn't FIFA Street the last? Wasn't it D?
Either way, it's incorrect.
Yeah.
Brayden?
Oh.
So you've got B or C?
Well, were they 64 or
98.
98? I'm going to say 98. B.
Correct!
Oh, woo!
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, if you thought about
What street, D or C?
I thought it was C.
it, Street was D.
Oh, okay. Either way.
I mean,
Okay.
we were both wrong, so it doesn't
Here
matter.
we go. Question number 2.
So who's doing it now?
Dylan the
okay.
villain!
Dylan the villain!
No. Just the one. We just
Gotcha,
one per
gotcha,
show
gotcha,
because
gotcha.
otherwise I'll burn through this
we'll
book.
run out of questions.
That's right.
What, all 200 plus of them?
Correct. And that was only halfway through.
Was that correct? I got a point?
Yes, correct. I've already changed it. Don't worry.
Wow. Incredible.
Dylan the villain. Dylan
the
asks,
villain.
the orange ghost in Pac-Man is known as Clyde, but in Japan he's known as Guzu. What does Guzu mean? A, unpredictable. B, stupid. C, cunning. Or D, nom 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 nom.
Anto?
Anto?
Unpredictable?
Incorrect.
Floppy.
Floppy?
Cunning.
Incorrect.
Brayden.
Yes?
It was the stupid one.
It is a stupid one.
Oh, yeah.
Do you mean the
Brayden!
answer stupid or the stupid answer? Because if you mean the stupid one as in the stupid
Oh,
answer,
no.
that's nom 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 nom
Oh,
nom
no,
nom.
he's got me. No. Clyde's stupid. That's why he's called Clyde.
Oh, sorry, all Clyde viewers out
How
there.
many people in the world have you met called Clyde?
There's only one name that's worse than Clyde, and that's Doug.
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 Big Doug.
I'm Doug. Okay, here we go. What was the original name for Minecraft?
Oh.
Was it A,
Oh.
Cave Game, B, Pixel Game, C, Mind Game, or D, Game Game?
Floppy.
Yes, Floppy.
It's mind game.
Incorrect.
Anto.
Anto?
Game.
Incorrect.
Brayden.
Yes?
Cave game.
Yes!
Mind game. I
Brayden!
fucking listened to
Nah,
a
I knew that
podcast on
one.
this the other day.
I knew that one.
It's not because I made up Mind Game. It's cave game.
Do you say mind or mine?
Mine.
I actually knew that one, and when you two both jumped in really quickly, I was like, oh, I really hope they don't get it.
I
Okay.
went with game
I'm going to
game
go back
because
and
I
listen to
know
this
Notch is a
podcast.
jump
I
game.
just do a
Games are really
podcast on the
good.
creation of Minecraft.
Here we go. Last question from Michael Towns, Patreon
Michael
producer.
Towns.
Michael Towns. Game Boy games. Do you know what we didn't do? We didn't talk about Game Boy games this show.
We should do that in a minute.
We should probably do that. Michael Towns asks, according to a patent filed by Nintendo in 2010, the end of the Nintendo DS stylus that faces outward when inserted into the console is known as A, the fastening nub, B, the holster clip, C, the engagement portion, or D, the bit you chew on while you're thinking and problem
I
solving.
don't understand the question.
Anto,
Yes, Anto.
the engagement portion.
You are correct.
Oh my
Yes!
god,
I
really?
knew it!
Brayden, can you please go to assets?
Oh, this is
It's
what's in assets.
literally like the tiny little bit with the triangular
I don't
bump
even understand what that...
that
The
fits
stylus.
inside.
Yeah, but what was the question?
What?
What you'll see, because Brayden's going to bring up this footage of the exact thing that he was getting the thing off. So Michael Towns put in his explanation.
What?
Every part of the stylus patent reads like something out of a school sex ed textbook. So we've got the engagement portion up the top, the protrusions just underneath that, the elongated shaft,
And the
followed
tip.
by the tip. There we go.
I still don't know what the question was.
It was
What's
which
the top
bit of the
part?
system, like of the stylus, like
What-
the top bit.
What was this
is
bit
that
called?
So
That was confusing.
Wild.
at the end of
I didn't get a point.
No, do they know video games? We've got
Apparently
Jazz
not.
on 1, Angie on 3, me on 6, Zach on 8, Anto on 15, Brayden on 18, Floppy on 19.
It's gonna fucking happen again, isn't it? I'm gonna lose by like one fucking point. I
think
lead
it's-
all year.
I think it's really funny, but we've just changed it to do they know video games? And apparently I don't know video games anymore. I know like video game hardware patent information. So
But you don't know video games and neither do we, but that's okay because we like talking about them. Floppy, what else do you like talking about?
Oh, stuff and things.
What do you
can
wanna-
see that at you can see that at Floppy Plays Games on Instagram, where I put up photos and images of things that I've picked up lately. I've tried to do some nicer photos lately.
No, very nice.
I like
Are
them
they? I was
nicer.
going to say, give me some feedback. Are
yeah,
they, or
no, I
are
think
the
they're
old
looking
ones?
good.
Floppy,
Um,
I think they're good. I could do without the filter on the latest
Correct.
one.
I don't know
agree.
what it is. I just keep pressing buttons until something looks different.
Okay.
I do it old man style.
Awesome.
So, in fact, you'll notice that all of them are different.
Very good.
But yeah, I also had another pickup this week that I was going to share with you at the start of the show, and I forgot.
Okay, here we go.
I picked up this for free.
All right.
It is a banger. It is called 15 Butte Aussie Games.
Oh, I feel sick.
Oh my
Volume 3,
Oh.
which includes such legendary games as Eddie Algie, Laser Burn, Lenny Loose Jocks in Didgeridoo,
Oh no.
also Lenny Loose Jocks in Rock Slide.
Oh.
He didn't let me get to the best one.
Oh no.
Stink Ball. This is rated AAA, which is affordable, addictive, Australian.
Affordable, addictive in Australia.
An Australian.
That is a AAA game right there.
Marketing, get fucked. Like,
my
seriously,
God.
I'm going to find you. I'm going to
Fell
slit
out.
your throat. I'm going to
Look at
pull
that.
out your tongue
Look at that.
and make a fashionable little bow tie with it, you freaks.
That's good. Oh my god.
Brayden,
Heidi.
what do you want to talk about?
I'll sell that at the toy fair.
Oh my
someone
god,
buy
do
it.
it.
Probably Towns.
Michael Towns, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Bless him. You should go over and support one of my workplaces. You can jump over to Greenlight Comics, greenlightcomics.com, and go over there. I put way too much effort into the blog posts. They show off the stuff that's coming out soon. Man, a lot of X-Men books.
Yeah.
A lot of X-Men
X-Men's
books.
back, baby.
X-Men's back in a major way at the moment. It's
It's
crazy.
great.
X-Men.
I've been
back.
reading them.
All right.
Yeah.
But one for the gamers out there.
Ooh.
There was Cult of the Lamb. The Cult of the Lamb comic book's coming out soon.
Cult of the Lamb comic book. Nice.
Yep. But now, over here, in December's solicits, we've got...
Solicits.
That's what they're called.
Yo, the Mega Man one!
Mega Man and Dark Souls
Oh, yeah!
in one blog post.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Mega Man.
Why does Mega Man look like he's just got out of high school?
Because he has.
Yeah.
Japan.
That's the plot. The days of battle against Dr. Wily are long since gone. The world no longer needs Mega Man, and a grown-up Rock now leads a peaceful life as a
His
dentist.
name's Rock.
He's
As
called
a
Rockman in
dentist.
Japan.
Hey, I know, but that's cool. I didn't know his name was Rock.
His name is Rock, and his sister, Robot, is called Roll.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Rock and roll,
Yeah.
or depending on which one.
And his
order
dog's
they walk in
Ruff?
Rush. And
Rush.
then one of his enemies is called Bass. Mm-hmm. It's great.
And they treble before him.
Yeah. There's a character called Treble, too.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
What
God.
What is happening?
Don't worry, it's fine.
I tell you
Not a
what's
lot of
happening.
imagination is
I didn't get
happening.
an applause for
Whoa,
my
that's
pun.
worse than Dragon Ball Anatomy.
Anyway,
That's still better than Rob Liefeld.
I do a little thing called Super Retro Squad, where I go out and find rare things, and not so rare things, but I find good things, and they're good for everyone. So you should go on over to Super Retro Squad and find them.
You know what
Ben,
you've done?
is this thumbnail the thing I'm talking... That's Spawn, the video game.
Yes.
Spawn, what was it, Armageddon or something?
Spawn. It's very rare on the GameCube.
It's not a very good game.
That's ridiculous.
Spoiler alert: the game wasn't in there.
Wah, wah,
It was
wah.
like some BMX game, but it was only $1, so the case is worth that in case I ever find the disc.
Disc later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anto, you're going to come out with me this weekend.
I am going out on Sunday at 5:20 a.m.
Hell yeah.
Second time in a week that I've been up that early.
Anto, you want to plug something? I forgot you.
Yeah, we'll plug my Instagram stuff. So there's Final Fantasy, which probably I've decided will just be video game sort of stuff rather than specifically Final Fantasy. Like, that'll be the focus, but I'm going to put other stuff up there.
Rystar.
Like Rystar. But also my personal Instagram. A couple of shows back, we talked about how I was on a bit of a fitness kick and sort of committing to that, and that's been true. My personal Instagram is full of updates for like what my exercise routines look like in terms of time, heart rate, like calories burned, all that sort of stuff. So if anyone is interested in following along with that and watching the transformation as I shed pounds, yeah, over there. That's my personal stuff where I'll just update and do meme things and just exist. So that one's Hey It's Anto. I think it's Hey It's Anto 1. And then, yeah, final_Fantasy instead of Fantasy. That sounds
Thank
even
you for
worse now I've said it
clarifying.
louder. Shut up, Brayden. But yeah, just head on over to either one of them and you'll find the other links in my bio. There we go.
And you might as well head on over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe to You Don't Know Video Games over on YouTube and on Spotify and all podcast apps. Again, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment, tell some friends, help us get this baby rolling. And until next time, remember...
Hang on. Before we go, we'd like to thank Michael Towns and shout out Game Boy Games.
Game Boy Games, which we'll be going back to thanking next episode over on YouTube. So Game Boy Games, head on over to hackthedino.com, find the Game Boy Games, press the button, play some games that has Floppy and all of us in it, including Anto as a giant scary moon
Ant
man.
Moon.
Ant Moon.
Can I put not to call out Townsy or anything. Townsy, can you to fix your website or something? Like I want a nice easy link. So
It's like hackthedino.com, Brayden. What else do you want?
yeah, but I know, but like it features just his stuff, you know, like
It does feature his stuff,
yeah,
along with ours.
yeah.
What's the problem?
He pays us, and he has to exclusively be on.
Until
our
next
link.
time, remember, you don't know video games.
That was an amazing fade out.
That was great.